During the 2017-2018 school year, Rye Culver at St. George's took on the challenge of gamifying his entire ELA 4 short story course. And this sounds like an incredibly daunting mission, but if we take a look at the work that he's put into his Schoology course, we'll see that in many ways it doesn't differ all that much from what many of us are already doing. So let's take a look. So one thing that Rye employed in his class is a leaderboard. And this leaderboard is a great way to keep feedback for students and to add in that element of competition. So students are going to want to be up at the top of the leaderboard. They're going to want to have the most points. They're going to want to have those bragging privileges. But this is also where that feedback is coming into play, where students can see exactly how they're performing on these tasks. So in some ways it's a grade book, but in other ways it is motivation for students. Within Rye's course, he has things like the item shop. And if we take a look at the item shop, we'll see that if they gain a certain number of points, they can buy things like a point on a summative assessment, or 10 points on a formative assessment, or wearing a hat for the day. So these are some additional motivating factors that can really push students to really want to get as many points as possible. But notice that Rye's not paying for any of these things. These are all free rewards, and certainly you wouldn't need to have these, but Rye didn't include them just to add a little bit extra fuel to the fire. If we return back to his course on the whole, we'll see that he has named each of his units quests. So that a lot of this is all about just changing our terminology to make it sound more game-like. And his quests are pretty clever too. He'll have things like Elemental Forest, in which he's teaching them the literary elements. So it's all very cleverly done. We'll see one of their first tasks is to create an avatar and a player profile, just to again add in that game-like element and really get the student buy-in that this is a game that they're going to be playing for the entire semester. And then as we move through his folders, we'll see that there are elements of choice, as there often should be in gamification. So for example, propose a short story to summarize is a discussion board in which students are suggesting which story they want to read to summarize. And we'll notice that he's gone through and he's commented on each of these stories, saying whether that's something they can do or not. And this is a form of immediate feedback, though it's not your traditional immediate feedback, in that it's just him saying whether they can do it or not. It's not giving them necessarily the results on their performance. But we can see that these kids were making their proposals on Monday, September 18th, and Rye's taking the time to respond to each of them on Monday, September 18th. But aside from that, I mean, we are looking at a pretty traditional Schoology layout here, just with different names than what we might normally see. So quests instead of units, levels instead of lessons, etc. We'll notice he has many cute little videos or slides embedded in to add a little bit more of a game-like feel. And then at the bottom, we'll notice that there are side quests. So these are some bonus activities, and these bonus activities are what can buy you some of the things in the item shop. And what's great about these side quests are these are some of the soft skills, or maybe things that aren't necessarily content-related skills that we always want to teach our students, but that we can't always necessarily find the time to teach. So, for example, Google Wizard Level 1 is teaching them how to organize their Google Drive. So he's got videos, he's got screenshots about how to create folders, how to color code folders, how to put all of their materials into those folders. So these are definitely skills that we want our students to learn, but oftentimes when we're teaching a semester-long short story course, we can't find the time to do that. But here he has his students doing these bonus activities, these side quests, in order to gain those additional points. And we'll see too that if we take a peek into the assignment, 39 of 40 students did this bonus activity. That's unheard of. But they're really trying to gain those extra points. And that's the beauty of gamification. So, in summary, Rise got some great stuff going on here. But much of it is just your traditional Schoology course. So think about, how can you repackage some of your things? How can you embed elements of choice where maybe there aren't previously elements of choice? What are some of those things that you always wish that you could teach kids but couldn't find the time? And how can you package those as bonus activities? And you too could end up with a gamified course.